Following up on the discussion that Sumner and Cohen's have about arguments, I thought, since one of the things you're discussing in your books, you're covering in your readings this week, are the definition arguments, we would literally go and look at some definitions, even though your book says that is not the first place you should go with a definition argument. I love dictionaries. This is where we're going. So, what is the definition of an argument? Well, as Sumner and Cohen pointed out, although we have connotations of war and battle, the definitions are often, evidence. Now, convict and prove might have stronger sort of connotations there, but this is about bringing reasons to reason, to have that sort of rational back and forth, that learning experience, as well as to dispute, which has more of a fighting or militaristic sort of connotation. So that is what argument means. Now, what Sumner, and Cohen, combining those names there, Sumner and Cohen were trying to advocate for was this idea of learning through, and listening and learning, understanding what the other side is saying. And there are some very interesting definitions for listening, which I thought were more informative and important for our listening workshop than the idea of arguing. So first of all, the idea of to hear attentively, pay attention. This idea of not just hearing, but hear attentively. Pay attention to absorb what's being said and sort through it, as opposed to that sort of reactive or the Thanksgiving dinner, where, as Sumner was satirizing the argument, you're each saying what you think the other means, or what's behind what they're saying, as opposed to really listening to what is behind, what is deeper than, or getting to the heart of what needs to be talked about. Because you are reacting to them, you are not listening. And this idea of listening goes beyond. It's not just a sound. It is a state of mind. And if we're going to go to the fact sheet, which I thought was super cool, and looking at the occurrences that this word has, its frequency in our language, I thought was fascinating. Since 1750, there has been a dramatic increase in the frequency of using the term listen in written English. It's one of the 2,000 most common words in modern English. Similar in frequency to words like faith, gain, learning, parameter, and suppose. Now, I don't know what the relationship to all of those words would be, but I thought it was significant that learning, the one I mistakenly typed in, has about the same frequency. This idea of listening and learning go together in, not just in our culture, I would argue, but as a cognitive act. In order to learn, you have to begin by listening. So, interesting spike there would be sort of fun to study, but that's not the purpose of this class. So, as you are thinking about the concept of listening and listening with your paper, think about it as a learning activity, as a learning exercise, and open yourself up, if you dare, to seeing what's the other side of the argument could be.